Hey everyone, it's Trigger Bar Philosopher. Welcome back out to the channel. Today we have another exciting episode. We're going to be taking a look at the Ruger 380. But this time we're going to be doing some ammunition testing with the Federal Hydra Shok Deep in my new and improved real-world target. Let's get shooting. Okay, so what are we going to be talking about today? We're going to be talking about the Ruger 360, Security 360. It's chambered in 380 ACP. One of the attractive things about it is that it has 15 round capacity. It is not a pocket gun. It's bigger than, you know, your P365. It's approaching, it's not as big as a Glock 19, but it's somewhere between a subcompact and a sort of a micro pistol is kind of where I would put it at. Again, chambered in 380. It is very light to rack. And so for those of you who have friends who need some type of pistol, or a spouse or a significant other that needs a pistol that's easier to rack the slide on, this is a pretty good one. So you can see this one is empty. There's no magazine in the mag well. And it is very light to rack the slide on. Doesn't take much effort at all to be able to do it. The magazines, I would say, are a little bit heavier. So if you're looking at the M&P EZ, they may be a little bit easier to load, but with an Uplula type magazine, I'm pretty sure most people can load the magazines on it. Again, 15 round capacity, but that's pretty far when it's extended. And that's good because the grip comes down here and you need to be able to get your pinky on it if you have a little bit bigger hand. They come also with a more flush fit, but it comes with a pinky extension. They also have a totally flush fit, but then my finger goes off the end of it. So again, someone with a little bit smaller hand sizes may fit just a little bit better. But we are going to be really testing today, see how it does with hollow point ammunition. In particular, we're going to start off with one of my favorites, which is this Hydra Shok Deep. We're going to see how it performs in a real world meat target. I've already tested this multiple other times without any type of backing. So I have 4 layers of denim. I have some medium density fiberboard, and then I've got a whole bunch of gel. I've got a little contraption to help me hold it. I've got some backdrops so you might have a chance of seeing it. We're going to see if we can get some of this, some of the movie magic going and see what type of penetrations we get on here today. So with that said, should be a good time, and let's get to shooting. All right, well, we have the Ruger Security 380, and we're going to see how it does with the 99 grain Hydra Shok Deep. Let's go see how it did. 867. This is take 2. We went way too low. Hopefully that's better. Okay, let's do this one more time. I think one issue is I'm getting actually too low and the bullets are coming up. That one was an interesting one because I think I missed the couple of inches of gel before it hit the target. I'm going to scoot over just a little bit and see if I can get it better. 902. Okay, hopefully you can see what's going on here. Sorry, this tape measure is not very good. I may want to go back to a more traditional one. But as you can tell, this block goes out to 16 inches. Actually, it goes out a little bit past 18. And these bullets are getting a little around 13.5 inches on that one, and about 10 inches on this one. And then there's a third bullet down below that's also at about 10 inches. You can see that we are not getting hardly any hollow point expansion. But they're making some pretty nice wound tracks in there. Let's take a look. So we're seeing some decent size wound tracks. Again, you're colored because of the MDF that's coming apart, but hardly any, if any, expansion in these tracks. We're seeing hardly any expansion. If you can tell, this thing's full of denim. It also has some pretty nifty deformation. And this is the one that actually kind of missed the gel block and came in before it hit the MDF. Let's just take a look at the MDF on those hit places that it hit. The first one went beneath it, but those are pretty nice sized bullets. I just want to compare something. These are 338. This is 8.6 blackout, unexpanded, And so you're getting just a little bit more expansion. This one looked like it might have had some tumbling as it went through that first one. But kind of interesting. Again, I think it may have hit something. I think it may have hit, yeah, look, it hit my wood. That's why it had expansion. But we got those other shots in here. Not too bad. Some of these are from that 8.6 blackout test. There are some holes in this particular gel block, in my hidden gel block that I tried to hide from everyone. But we're seeing that things are coming in from the side and going in. So really the best test is this one here. So it comes through here and ends up there, and very little expansion. These are not getting much hollow point expansion. So if you're counting on them with denim to get the expansion you need, they're a no-go. If you're counting on them to get the penetration you need through the MDF, which is a pretty good approximation of bone, if you're trying to get through layers of clothing and see what the hollow point does after the layers of clothing, that's what you get. So it's going to be somewhere between this and the expanded hollow points that we see when we have done our other tests. Continue on the test series. These are I already have several shots, the 3 shots from when I was trying to shoot gel. So we're going to continue to do some Garmin testing to see what our velocities are out of this Ruger. 895, 883, 890, 879, and 891. And again, it's nice that it's running all of them. So again, new gun-ish, still trying to see if it will run hollow points and other types of ammunition. For an average of 8 shots, we got 867 as the min, 888 is the average, and 902. That's what we've seen with this Hydra Shok Deep, is that it is not a fast, hot loaded round. Federal seems to do that on many of their bullets, but they try to get expansion. We didn't get expansion with the combination of the 4 layers of denim, and we got very minimum. We really got plugged hollow point and MDF fiberboard. We got decent penetration with it, what I would consider decent, and probably more damage than if you just had an FMJ. Remember, an FMJ typically has a front hit, a tipped type bullet. If it were sort of a semi-wad cutter or a wad cutter type bullet or a flat top FMJ, probably would perform very similar. Okay, let's do a little bit of accuracy and a little bit of shooting. Okay, we're at 5 yards. We're testing this Hydra Shok Deep for some accuracy. Okay, and consistent with some of the other testing that things are shooting a little bit left. That's what I think I've seen with the other shots from this round, and so I have not yet drifted that side over. But for self-defense accuracy, that's fine. We're not winning any championships, but that's okay. And to finish things up, let's take a shot at the dueling tree. No! And all right, found one more round. See if we can get this last one. And I forgot to turn on the target camera on that last one. That sucks. All right, we got a hit. Well, okay, well, let's wrap things up here today in front of the dueling tree. So you can see that I only got a few of them to come over, and sometimes 380 just doesn't have enough oomph to move the dueling tree over to the hit side. Even though we got proof that we got hits on it, just didn't have enough power and enough potentially momentum from the angle that it was being shot at. But I think today, a couple of takeaways. Happy that my Ruger is performing well, or 380 is performing well, and especially with jacketed hollow points. Now, we tested out what is one of my favorite jacketed hollow points, and that is the Hydra Shok Deep. And out of this handgun, we saw hardly any expansion. Out of our Bodyguard 2.0, we saw negligible expansion when we did a previous video, and out of the Beretta, we saw a little bit of expansion out of it. And the Beretta has a little bit longer barrel than this Ruger Security 380 does. So with that said, is this the right ammunition for you and for this handgun? What I would say is one of a couple of things with 380 ACP ammunition that you have to worry about is, will it get enough penetration? And in our quote unquote real world test where we had 4 layers of denim, and we had, because these are all the things that people have told me in the past, that trigger bar, you got to test it with these things. What we're seeing is exactly what I said we were seeing, is that the worst case scenario is when a hollow point in 380 ACP expands too much and doesn't get deep enough penetration. And in this video, we got hardly any expansion, but we did see that it maintained getting significant penetration and it doesn't get over penetration. And so I also think that, again, when we talk about what is the appropriate depth for penetration with 380, I usually like to get to 12 inches with a clear ballistic type gelatin. With the medium density fiberboard, that does slow it down just a little bit more. And so things that are getting at the 10-inch mark, I think are totally acceptable. We saw some great penetration and I think great performance out of the round. I think that little bit of a cut open, even though it didn't expand in the jacketed hollow point, it's behaving like a semi-wad cutter. And we saw that that had some decent for 380 ACP. I know it's not 5.56 or 45 ACP or whatever. We got decent expansion or wound tracks into the gel. So with that said, let me know if this is a round that you would choose. Let me know what you guys think about this gun. It's relatively, can be had for relatively on the cheap. I think it's a fantastic handgun for someone who is looking for something that's easier to rack and manipulate as you're getting older, as your spouse is getting older, as you may have a disability, any of those types of things. This makes firing this gun pretty easy. It's actually a very soft shooter, very little recoil. There are some handguns that are so small in 380 ACP that the recoil on them is pretty hard and pretty harsh to manipulate. This is a very soft shooting gun. So if you're looking for something like that, I think this is a fantastic recommendation. I hope everyone has a great week. Please put your comments below about what you think about this system and the ammunition that we're choosing today. And I hope everyone has a great week, and let's get to shooting.